Hello everyone, I'm redoing this video because yesterday I might have given some inaccurate information. I decided to just delete the video last night when I talked to Matt Camper about what's going on. And now I am reading the fine print because I did see it twice. So if you don't know what's going on, maybe you haven't watched Camper News or Pine Power LI in the past 12 hours or 24, wherever the time frame is. The bad news is we were lied to along the main line. So let me explain what's going on here. This is pretty much the analogy of Jim Carrey being Pat Foy. Okay? That's what's going on here. So let's explain what's going on. So, let's pretend that Jim Carrey is Pat Foy, okay? Pat Foy is saying, we're only doing mainline shutdown on Saturdays, starting next weekend the 12th, and going all the way until October 24th. This is where it gets good. First of all, when Matt was doing his September service changes, aka fall 2020 service change, one flaw I noticed. Number one, the 211 eastbound train from Penn to Long Beach has not still been reinstated yet, which I'm still frustrated about, and it may not even come back if the feds don't do their part, which I will mention the feds are coming back to work on Tuesday, but this is where it gets good. This is where it gets good. So originally, if you look at this excerpt from the July Long Island Railroad Committee book, they claim that the service is only going to be suspended between Mineola and Hicksville. All right, no big deal. But now, this is where it gets good. This is where it gets good. There's now going to be no mainline service between Hicksville and Jamaica for the next 2 months. Yeah, you heard me correct. 2 months. All the way until Halloween. Yeah. Because the weekend of October 30th, let me see if I can, I got my calendar. Yeah, the 31st and November 1st, that's going to be service on the main line that weekend. But look at this. Look how many weekends there are going to be. And even another weekend they added. They added a last-minute grade crossing elimination. They added that. School Street grade crossing in Westbury is scheduled for elimination on the weekend of October 3rd and 4th. And now they say, last minute, a week before, we are going to suspend service between Queens and Hicksville. That's what this means. No service east from Jamaica to Hicksville. So the Long Island Railroad did a complete 180. Look at this. They're telling people to use Nice Bus. Why doesn't this surprise me? But what's going to happen is Transdev is not going to be made aware of this, and they're going to tell people to pay the fare. You know, this is the outrageous thing this railroad keeps doing to discriminate people along the middle of the island, and now they're basically telling you, if you're coming from Queens, pretty much get lost. That's what this means, because this is going to impact more people in Queens than Manhattan, because, again, you know, with the indoor dining available in Nassau, people are going to want to head out east. So, either way, this is, once again, saying to us, don't come out here, we don't want you out here, sorry, this is an insult to you, you're stranded. So, it's an insult. It's just a complete insult to me and everybody else who uses the railroad from Jamaica to head out east. It's an insult. Because we don't want to deal with Nice Bus. We rather would deal with commuter rail. can deal with nice buses and excuses of buses not showing up on time, drivers going slow on the road. I've gotten reports that drivers are actually going under the speed limit on Hillside Avenue and on the N22 lately. Same with the 24. I've been getting complaints privately saying the drivers are just going completely slow. And I've even gotten complaints that the drivers are going slow on the Q46 on Union Turnpike recently. So, commuter rail was always going to be king. Because at commuter rail, you can go 80 miles an hour. 80! That's a big deal. So, add the 1 to the 80, pretty much backtracking what's going on here. It's saying in this page, sorry, we're only suspending service between Mineola and Hicksville. No, now you're going to suspend service between Queens and Hicksville. Queens and Hicksville. So again, this is an insult. You know, this is what Nasty County is doing to us right now. I'm going to call it the way it is. Because this is, I've said this for, I think, 2 to 3 years now that I started calling it that. Because this is not a business-friendly model for people who've spent all their life coming from Queens and going to Nassau for better, opportunities, better job opportunities, better places to go dining and shopping than Queens doesn't have. This is an insult to us. You don't deserve to get discriminated like this in Queens. Especially, let's say, if the movie theaters reopen, right? You want to go to Hicksville. See a movie. And by the way, Governor Cuomo's got to reopen it by the end of this month because Wonder Woman 84 is supposed to come out on, what date? I even have it right here, the 2nd, next month. I'm sorry for ranting, but, look what they're going to do. They're telling us to take the N22, N24 routes. They want us to take the M4041. So, they need to cross-honor our tickets, at least, Nice Bus. So, if Transdev's listening, they need to put this into consideration. They need to reach out to the MTA. I'm going to have people hopefully get back to me. And I'm going to complain to Internal Affairs if they're not cross-honoring and they're and if the drivers along Nice Bus are not cross-honoring Long Island Railroad tickets. Now, Oyster Bay line, this is where it gets good. There's going to be no service on the Oyster Bay line. Now, why doesn't that surprise me? Because they're most likely canceling the Oyster Fest this year because of COVID. I'm sure the Oyster Fest that's normally held in October is not going to happen this year. Then you got the Hempstead branch, the usual deal. The good news for me is I may have to be somewhere in Garden City on the 26th later this month. That's still up in the air because I'm figuring that out privately with someone. But, yeah, I may have to go to Garden City on the 26th. And thankfully, I'm going to have the half-hourly service I do deserve at Queens Village. Because all I have to do is just take the Q88, and then I can get to where I need to go along Franklin Avenue. But still, pure discrimination right here. And then what you have to do is the usual diesel train that goes from Hicksville to Bethpage. Then you have to go to Babylon. Yep, so they're pretty much adding additional travel time. I have a friend who lives along the South Shore. She's not one of these closed-minded individuals, okay? So, she complained to me last year, same time last year when they did these mainline shutdowns, the Babylon branch just got overcrowded. Especially now, this time when you got COVID, if you're along the main line, my suggestion would be just use the Hempstead branch. Just go to Garden City. I know you're going to complain about paying for parking if you need to go west into the city, especially, hopefully, de Blasio and Cuomo budge on indoor dining, and Cuomo budges on the movie theaters. But still, this is the discrimination we're dealing with right now. It's Pat Foy at work. He needs to resign, and Kevin Law needs to resign too, because he's a part of this ploy as well. He's the president of the Long Island Association, and he's pretty much letting this all happen behind our backs. So, Kevin Law is not presenting a business-friendly approach between Queens and Long Island. Shame on him. And shame on Pat J. Foy for telling, once again, people from Queens to Nassau, you're not welcome, get lost. I am upset. Pine Power Ally is upset. He's even thinking of leaving Mineola because of this. I wish him well, because who wants to live in one of those mainline towns if you don't get train service on weekends? Who wants to live in a town like that? And what's happening is, Laura doesn't even know this is happening. I'm first trying to make her aware of this. She was trying to tell me when indoor dining was allowed in the city, she was going to go into the city again. So, this is just, again, discrimination. I am disgusted. I am upset. I gave out inaccurate information yesterday. So, this is just a warning that you have a week to prepare for this. I'm glad the railroad is giving people a week in advance notice, but this should have been told to us back in July. You know, if they had known this was going to happen in July, this would have been a nice favor to us. But no, that's not how we do things at the MTA. No. And by the way, one last thing I'll mention briefly. Kudos to Laura Kern. I will give her one positive. She's actually keeping Nickerson Beach open for the end of the month. So, kudos to her for that. And Ballone's keeping some of the Suffolk beaches open too. So, at least, in a sense, if we do want to go to the beach, we can from Queens. But, you know, if you want to go to the middle of the island and go to Hicksville for the Broadway Mall, we're out of luck. So, that's going to wrap up this video. I'm done ranting about this. You know, I'm just disgusted. Matt Camper is disgusted. Pine Power Ally is disgusted. Even Andy from NYC did a video. So, that's just the pure disgust we feel right now. And, you know, I'm going to figure out what's going to happen if I'm even going to Garden City at the end of this month. But, yeah, that's pretty much it. Thank you for watching. And as Matt Camper would always say, the fight continues. Thank you for watching.